the man to my right, who has been hilarious, joining Silicon Valley right in the middle of season 4, and you can check him out in the upcoming Hulu series with Seth Rogen produced new show, Future Man, and also Oasis on Amazon. Good to see you, Haley Joel Osment.
Good to see you too, man.
You bet. So let me ask you this question. You are a Laker fan.
I am.
What is your stance on the Ball family as they have a big scenario coming up in 2 days from now?
Yeah, I mean, my draft IQ isn't great. I heard there was some second thoughts about him after the workout, but now it seems to be leaning back towards they're going to take him.
Well, just in terms of dad and, I mean, having been around sets and I'm sure parents and the way things that happen in how parents could be helicopter parents or anything like that. Would you want this scenario? Let's put it this way: would you want this scenario to be brought upon the Lakers or involved with the Lakers, or to go on some completely different, unnamed person who might have similar talent and just bring that person?
I hope they go for the the best guy they can find. When it comes to his dad and everything, one thing I did read was that at UCLA he seemed to not be a distraction at all, at least at the game there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you don't want off the court distractions, but if he's the best player and it doesn't seem like he's fazed by his particular relationship with the media, yeah, we have an exciting time coming up because I think what Paul George is saying that he wants to go there. That could be pretty awesome.
He does.
LeBron's a long shot, but after the firing yesterday, it's like, who knows? Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, please come to LA, LeBron.
Well, and Magic's in charge.
Yeah.
And now Magic's in the spot. When did you first start loving the Lakers, Haley?
Oh gosh, my mom, when she moved to LA, when my parents moved to LA in the mid '80s, it was a great era for the Lakers. Was a big basketball fan, and yeah, just growing up, that was the team. Magic was a great player I was really into.
Sure.
And and then we were kind of spoiled as a fan in childhood and adulthood with 5 or 6 championships and in the years that I've been watching them. So
but the Dodgers are your team? That's
that one's gonna be the most special, I think, if we do get a championship, because that's the one team of all the teams I like that has not done it in my lifetime. They got one in 1988, the year I was born.
So you were born the year Kirk Gibson went yard on Dennis Eckersley.
That's right, yeah. And that one, we have this tradition. A lot of my friends from high school and I, we go to spring training each year. And the month leading up to going out to Camelback, we do an advent calendar. So each person, it cycles and does like a little moment. And number 1 is always the Kirk Gibson home run. That gets us into the season.
I mean, I was at an event last Friday for Al Michaels, and he was honored here in town. And the person who spoke and honored him last was Vin Scully.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he stepped up to the podium, and his first words in front of the whole crowd was, "Good afternoon, a very, very pleasant good afternoon to everybody today." And the whole place just went ape. And then he just paused and he goes, I've been waiting so many months to say that. I haven't said that this year. This felt really, really good just to see him and just to hear his voice.
It's
incredible.
He is gonna be missed, as I really like what Joe Davis is doing. We have, it's been great, but that's what you associate with baseball. And being a Dodger fan, additionally, he's the greatest sportscaster of all time.
It's kind of difficult, though, and I say this with a mea culpa as a Yankee fan, and Brockman is a Boston Red Sox guy, and we did the math that the Red Sox are spending just only $200,000 fewer dollars than the Yankees on their payroll.
Wow.
But they're all
who's counting
far outpaced by, as I point out, the pluckiest $250 million roster in baseball.
It's weird, isn't it? We're like the Colossus, but we're pretty likable, I think.
But they kind of, they scrap their way with $250 million worth of talent.
Yeah,
on the team.
And surviving the terrible injuries we had all last season, and having guys like Cody Bellinger come up, and the youth on the team and the whole attitude that's been there since Dave Roberts came in is just really fun as a fan.
And the fact that that Puig could have gone completely south last year.
It was not looking good, and now it's like...
Well, they sent him to Oklahoma City. Now, I know he's flipping the birds to the people in Detroit, and got a game suspension for that. But, I mean, the fact that they kind of redeemed him in a way. So where did you take in the playoffs last year?
I was shooting Oasis in South Africa during our whole playoff run. And I had adjusted my schedule so that I'd get home from work at in Cape Town in South Africa. I don't know if I said that. So it's like 12 hours ahead. or something, and I 9 hours ahead. I would go to sleep at 7 or 8 at night as soon as I got home from work. Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, watch the playoff games, and go to work at 7 or 8. And the Kershaw save in Game 5 against the Nationals went for like more than 5 hours, so I like had to leave the moment he was gonna do it, and I was like, had the door to the hotel room open, and he scored it, and then you go to work, and everyone's like, "Why are you so upset?" And I'm like, "No, I'm happy. Right?
That's how intense
I'm
it was.
just a little like,
That was intense. Kershaw with the save last year.
Oh man, yeah. And it's, I mean, with what Kenley did to set that up, and them bringing back Justin Turner and Kenley Jansen, it's just such a lovable team.
So if I had to get, so who's got the more aggressive beard? Justin Turner, you, or Chris Law at the Chris Command Center over there? What do you, your brothers in beards over there?
I think we're in a very respectable territory right here. Yeah. As you saw in the Silicon Valley clip, I sort of trimmed mine down a little bit. I got to give it to Justin because he hits like a monster.
Yeah, so you give it to him. I've got Haley Joel Osment here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'd like to take a 60-second break. We'll come back and I want to talk about your career a little bit more. We kind of didn't hit that last time you were here a couple of years ago, and also just your sense, if you will, and that's no pun intended, I guess, in a way, about spoiler alerts and where you stand on that subject, because we go back and forth on whether or not you need to stay mum about a movie or a television show. That's Haley Joel Osment here on the Rich Eisen Show. Back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. I've got Haley Joel Osment here in studio. Silicon Valley, what a funny show. And Alec Berg, who is a long time associate of Dave Mandel, who does Veep, and Jeff Schaffer, who we know here on the show, does the League and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Seinfeld from back in the day.
It's quite a resume.
So, I know, right? I mean, so now you're involved in this show. Where does this rank in terms of experiences for you professionally?
Way up there. And yeah, it's just everybody behind the camera and Mike Judge and everything. And then also cast of guys that are so talented in all these different areas with great stand-ups and great improv guys. Like, it's something that could be very nerve-wracking going into, but as I also saw, like when we did Spoils of Babylon, like you do in seasons like Kristen Wiig and these people, and the thing they all have in common is great improvisers and great performers make you feel comfortable by how good they are.
Right.
It's that it's a playful atmosphere that you feel like you can plug into really easily, and that was true on this.
And that's
show.
Again on HBO, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and then that back to back with Veep is just your sides are splitting for 60 solid minutes.
Yeah.
And, we got Haley Joel Osment in studio. What was your first gig? What was your first professional acting gig, and at what age?
A Pizza Hut commercial in probably 1992, I would guess. Like a total random thing.
So you're a 5-year-old kid?
4 years old. Yeah, they at an IKEA, they were taking Polaroids of kids coming in with their moms, which sounds odd. It was two nice women from a casting agency, but they were taking Polaroids of the kids coming in.
Nowadays, that can get you arrested.
I think our stranger danger IQ is now increased, but just got called in, did that commercial, and then...
What were you doing? Just eating pizza?
I said big would be an understatement in a montage of things that were... It was the Bigfoot pizza promotion, so they were doing like a shaky cam thing about like the Bigfoot monster.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember the pizza being very good, but by chance, the casting director for Forrest Gump saw that commercial, called me in, and then by a couple months later, we were shooting Forrest Gump.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, what was that experience like?
Pretty crazy. I remember it well because... It's so different from, your previous life as a kid. Like I learned to tie my shoes on that set, and
Did Tom Hanks teach you how to tie your shoes?
No, my dad and I at the Holiday Inn in Buford. I remember sitting on the stairs outside tying my shoe, rabbit around the tree and all that. But yeah, just seeing the Gump house, and they were doing the Vietnam stuff. They shot that in South Carolina as well, I think. So they had these warehouses of the military uniforms. I remember walking through there with Gary Sinise, and just. A really crazy time.
Yeah, that scene where Forrest learns who you are is one of the most moving. I mean, it always gets me. Father-son stuff always gets me, and that's to me what's always makes such a good sports movie too is the father-son stuff.
Yeah.
These jamokes I just found out didn't really learn what the natural. They've never seen the natural.
Or Dennis Hopper's character in Hoosiers.
Right.
Like,
Exactly. Yeah. By the way, that's what I mean. The father-son stuff is what always and clearly
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, and then why it just flew out of my head. The Kevin Costner movie with the corn. What the hell's
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. You know what I mean? The father-son stuff with Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
Now, that moment with Forrest and you.
Yeah, Tom is pretty amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, and you too. And then, of course, your mom, Claire Underwood.
Future president.
Future president.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. And that brings us to
okay. They put it up weeks ago.
Okay, now that's the point I wanted to ask you here because you in Sixth Sense. I don't really want to spoil it, but at this point in time, do you think it's fine for us to talk about something like that?
It's complicated. I try to be a do no harm with that kind of stuff.
Yes.
With tweets and stuff like about Game of Thrones as it's happening, I guess. I don't think a movie like The Sixth Sense would have had the same impact today, though, because it probably would have leaked before it ever came out.
Yeah.
The ad strategy would have been different. And now there was an attitude at the time that you read about where people enjoyed taking friends and family who didn't know and having that secret knowledge going into the movie, where now it seems more like people going like, wanting to get the word out. I remember on some AOL chat room, I remember it was reported, some guy was like trying to spread the thing and somebody's like, you're the person that probably pulls wings off butterflies. Like that kind of spoilery thing. But it's, I remember when the Red Wedding happened on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I had not read the books, didn't know anything except those videos of people reacting coming out. And I remember going like, I'm not a big fantasy guy, but if this is as crazy as it seems, I'll be mad if it's spoiled for me. So I just sort of cranked through the first 3 seasons in like a month and managed to get all those surprises without having them spoiled.
So then what is the statute of limitations on something like Game of Thrones?
Well,
right?
I didn't see Better Call Saul last night, so I've been like looking at the internet too much today.
Okay, so then what would you say? If you were on, say, tomorrow's show, would it be fair game?
I'd say a week.
What do you think? A week?
Giving somebody an extra weekend is probably fair, but unrealistic. But I think that's probably fair.
Aaron Rodgers basically said for a season finale, it's on you. That if you don't watch it live, too bad. But for a regular TV show, 24 hours.
Right. Well, it's interesting because with streaming and everything has taken away the experience of everyone sitting down to watch Seinfeld at the same time or stuff like that. But huge endings and finales and spoiler stuff is now sort of bringing us back to that, where I have to watch Game of Thrones on Sunday night. I have to do all that. It's going to be spoiled for me the next day.
Haley Joel Osment here on the Rich Eisen Show. What about a sports blackout? Do you do sports blackout?
Oh, this is something because my dad only cares about the Falcons. So on Sundays, when I'm in LA, we'll watch football together. He doesn't do fantasy or anything. But I do fantasy football, so I can't wait until the afternoon. I have to be doing all that. So he's like, I'll record the game and we can do it later. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. I have to be on it 10 a.m.
There's no recording a football game.
No.
You can't do that.
No.
So what is your fantasy team name?
We have a thing where we switch them all the time. It's our, it's a lot of people who living in different parts of the country, so it's our way to mess with each other. Okay. So I can't even remember.
Is there one safe for work?
If I get one, no, there's not a whole lot of safe ones.
Okay,
it's a great league.
Right.
I've only come in second in the last 7 years.
So you've never won your fantasy league.
The same guy has won 5 times.
Maybe you should DVR your football games just to switch it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Haley,
just throw darts at the board or something. Sometimes random chance can be.
Yeah. I had to the year Michigan played Louisville for the national championship. So 2013. Was the last time I attempted sports blackout.
Yeah.
And because I was flying back with a family vacation with the kids, and I'm serious about this stuff. So I had my kid, who was 5 at the time, I had him go into the cockpit of the plane and tell the pilot to please not announce. Well, I used him to get into the cockpit of the plane before.
Is this pre-9/11, sending messages to the pilot?
Well, no, just I wanted to use that moment sort of out of airplane to see if Scraps is a boy dog. Have that sort of moment between the pilot and the kid, and use that moment to be, hey, would you mind, please?
Yeah.
Don't give any updates. Then my wife, who knows how nuts I am, walked me through the terminal in LAX. Don't look at that TV. That TV at the Sbarro has it on. Don't look there. Look straight ahead. We did not put the radio on at all. And then I had my wife go into our room, turn on the TV to make sure how the DVR
That's
sometimes.
The worst when or the news is on and they're like, guess who won the
or
it
stays on the game. It stays on the channel.
Yeah.
There should be a function that it changes the channel for you. after the DVRing is over, right?
Yeah. Congrats, so you saw it without it getting spoiled for you.
Except for the fact that I just knew I was going to be disappointed just by merely being a Michigan fan.
That's magnetic waves in the air.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can just.
I just sensed it. That was, if you will, right there.
I have one spoiler story.
Go
we
for
were
it.
going to see a Knicks game in New York, walking down the concourse right after the Breaking Bad finale. And I had a friend who had earlier in the day at a party spoiled a death that happens in one of the last eepisodes. And as we're walking down the concourse,
big death.
She goes, "Hey, remember at that party when I told you so-and-so died?" And like dozens of people go, "Ah! Ah!" Like,
that's the problem.
Yeah, just overheard it in public.
You
like,
never know when your blackout could be pierced.
But look at how sensitive he's being, though. You're not saying the person whose death it is
4 years after
on Breaking Bad.
they-
4 years later. You're doing a
yeah.
very good job
This is the man.
of not spoiling.
He knows.
This is the man who saw dead people.
He knows.
Is that wrong?
My spoiler DNA is strong.
It is.
Yeah. Well, and I love movies where I didn't see the trailer. I don't like trailers too much either. Like my favorite movie-going experiences have been not knowing at all what's going to happen. So I like to protect that for people.
I was that way with Get Out. I had no earthly idea, and I was able to see it on a plane just 3 weeks ago. So I was able to somehow, some way, not have that. Anytime something would come up with it, I would look the other way.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how it would be. That it would be like a 21st century Rosemary's Baby with, a sort of bizarre, racial aspect of Rosemary's Baby that I didn't see it coming. Brilliant movie.
Really is.
Brilliant.
Even their billboards, no
tell.
faces. It was just like a house, and the words "get out." And you're like, I have no idea what that's
No
going to be.
idea.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, check it out. You are in the Amazon pilot Oasis and in Future Man, the upcoming Hulu series. So you're all about the streaming. And Glenn Headley was in that, huh? So
she
just passed away
last week. Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible loss. And I didn't get to know her very well because our characters don't interact too much on the show. But the few times I met her, she was a very sweet person with an amazing career.
Well, we've been big fans of yours for a long time. That's not the royal we. I'm including everybody here on the Rich Eisen Show set. So come back anytime,
Thank
Haley.
you. It's great being here.
Haley Joel Osment, which is his Twitter handle. Check him out on Twitter and check him out on Silicon Valley and Hulu and Oasis.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.
Isn't it amazing you can download an app with your thumbprint? You should download our app with your thumbprint.